I feel such a great deal of gratitude towards the Ticos who did us so generously. And part of what I would like to do is give back to the Ticos. I guess in terms of happiness, my latest wave of happiness started about 4 years ago when I disentangled from a dishonest relationship of about 16 years. And shortly after that, I came across what is colloquially known as the Yale happiness class. Have any of you ever heard of that? Okay. It's a class that was offered only once, but it's had more than 2.2 million viewers on the internet, and you can access it for free. The thing that was revolutionary for me, and sometimes we get profound ideas, everybody else is going, what's so profound about that? One of the first things that they did in this happiness class is they had you assess your character strengths. And then for this week, you're going to practice your character strengths, whatever. And to me, that was revolutionary because I had always been trying to fix my character defects. I spent my whole life trying to fix myself. And it turns out that if you just go with the strongest things, the weaker things, they don't go away, but they don't have as much of a prominence. It's like Jeff's story about which wolf do you feed? Mm-hmm. You feed the good wolf or the bad wolf? And to me, that was just kind of a revolutionary thing. And so from that, I sort of went on an internet search about a lot of positive psychology and thought, gee, wouldn't it be great to share all this? Well, what I've learned, because I've told a million people about the Yale happiness class, is nobody ever follows your advice. but I have looked at an awful lot of the internet, and I'm going to make available a lot of what I thought were good resources. What else do I want to say?
How did it lead you to this?
Yeah.
It was
I just totally lost my train of thought.
Join the club.
Anyway, so from this wishing I could share pathways to happiness, unfortunately, it's all an individual trip for each one of us. I came up with this idea of, well, how can we create projects for this community that will either make the community happy or make ourselves happy or whatever. I think there's a tremendous amount of talent and skills in this community that, we'd all love to contribute. Jeff was talking about people helping, and there's a helper's high. You feel good when you help somebody else. And also, I think, this pandemic has had a huge effect on people's mental health. And so the other aspect is we kind of like to develop a community hub. When we do things together, it's a whole lot easier than when you try and tackle things ourselves. Yep.
Great. So I'm going to pass out. We have some sheets that we've summarized what this is because so many people have asked, what in the world is this?
Yeah, we don't know.
We're discovering ourselves what it is. So if you're interested, take one of these. I don't know if there's enough for everybody. Maybe there is.
Understand this a little bit better. You're looking for a project.
We have brainstormed, and we have a gazillion projects, and I'm sure you all will have other great ideas. And Jeff has very nicely organized these in a way that we can talk about them.
Okay, so nothing's been decided, Jeff, then? You're still looking at...
There's a steering committee.
Okay.
And the steering committee has decided on the first 4 things that we will do together.
Is that all on this
It's
sheet?
all on the sheet.
Great.
So let me go through the sheet. I'm basically going to read because it's good stuff. We spent some time on a mission statement for the Happiness Project. How do you say this? Proyecto Felicidad. Proyecto Felicidad. Mission statement. The Happiness Project provides collaborative, community-based programs and resources to help develop health and happiness for individuals and the community. A very general statement. The people who have been part of this initial steering committee: Diane, Donna, who's a part of this group, Teresa, who's a part of this group, Ruthie, Nancy, who's been a part of this group, Ann Martins, who has not been a part of this group very much. I think she was here a few times, and myself. This is the initial committee to put the initial ideas together. Out of that, we have floated a bunch of ideas. I view them as kind of gliders. Like we toss up a glider. We toss up a glider, no idea whether that should land or not. And in the process of that, we have landed into 4 areas. One, we would like to teach. Oh, excuse me. I want to go to what the specific goal, the 2 target populations of this are. One, especially gringas and their daughters. Ticas and their daughters. See?
Okay, right. Okay.
Thank you.
So this whole program is gonna be in Spanish.
It's working its way towards being a bilingual program. Right now, it's a bunch of English-speaking people. So that's part of our.
I would imagine
part of
that
our program.
most of the people in need of this program are not gonna speak English.
Most of the people who might help, we need bilingual people to provide some of the things that possibly this would be.
Are you gonna have any Chicos on your steering committee?
We have
We're
tried to.
working on
We're
that.
working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So these are the 4 landing strips, and then let's do questions at the end. Let me go through the whole thing because I think it'll make sense. The first landing is that we would teach interactive English and Spanish classes at the Happiness House, which is the old police station.
Oh.
We have leased the old police station for 3 years, and the Happiness House is that place, and it's being put together. At that point, you know where that is?
Right across from Pensido.
Yeah, right across
Yeah.
from Pensido and right next to the
Harmony.
Family
Harmony.
Resource Center. Yeah. Family Support Center. So the first one would be this dilemma of English and Spanish, especially giving very reasonable English classes to the Tico population. Maybe 5 colones for 8 lessons.
Mhm.
And also giving Spanish lessons maybe at a different cost for the gringos.
Is it presumptuous to want to teach them English? Or do you think that they would
No,
like?
it's only
No, I think it helps them.
Happiness for them economically would be if they were bilingual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I always look at it the other way. Presumptuous that I speak English.
It goes.
I'm
Right.
thinking economically, you know, one of the reasons why I encourage all the people who do the work with us to learn English is they will start to make more money. They will provide for their families better.
Great.
Do you know Patsy, who's in around here? She does Spanish lessons.
Wait,
We got it.
Catherine
Okay,
Stewart.
yeah.
We've been resourcing all the things, but if you have any ideas like that, tell us in case we've missed somebody.
Yeah, because Catherine does some of that. And
Absolutely.
Joanne does it, she's moving.
Yeah, yeah.
So Joanne was doing that at the church down here.
Yeah, and we know all those resources. Donna, you see the name after this. This is Donna. This is the steering committee person in charge of this.
Okay.
Just so you all know, in case you have ideas for them.
okay.
2, that we would like to create a second landing strip that's beyond languages, and that is that we would like to have there be greater interactions between the Tico community and the Gringo community. Therefore, if it's bolded, we've decided to land the plane. Social hour every Tuesday, 9 to 12 at the Happy House. Teresa, who is part of our group but not here today, is going to be in charge of that. Food workshops that will get people just interacting together, and potlucks. We have all kinds of other ideas. I'm not like workshops, like trainings, creating an information center, a welcome wagon for new people who are coming into the community, all those kind of things. However, the ones that are bolded are the things that the steering committee has decided we are going to land with in the rest of this year. Third, elder support. So if one of the target groups is the Tika and their daughters population, then the other support would be for elderly for the senior gringos.
Senior gringos.
Senior gringos?
Yes.
Why just gringos?
Because, well, it could be the others. However, there's all kinds of needs among the gringo population of people who are older here
Yeah,
and
and
who
they,
stay here.
yeah, I agree.
Most of what we're offering is to help newcomers through our industry, but it's certainly available for private.
One of the two planes that we've decided to land is being supportive to elderly gringos.
And how would that work? How does that?
Adopt a grandparent, food provision, personal support, shared services and resourcing, and creating a senior center.
Can I volunteer to be adopted?
Yeah.
Would you like to be adopted?
I'm a grandparent. I qualify.
This is my idea that came from my church work in Los Angeles early on. The kids each adopted a grandparent at a convalescent home, and it was life changing for
I
everybody.
watched it. I saw my dad.
And so, actually there's individual teaming of people together might be a just wonderful thing. Ruthie's talked, so we have Ruthie's name on here because she has 1,000 ideas about how people can be supported to elderly.
Because I'm one of them.
You are.
I love ideas too. Well, that's what we are saying.
Fourth, that there is now a facility that we have to manage, and so that's a plane that we have to land. And at that facility, that we would continue to do maintenance inside and out, as well as the owners. That there'd be community meetings, AA, etc., that would be allowed, that we would encourage to come and use the building. There's no AA meeting.
I think it's just in Uvita.
Not
Right? There's
anymore.
one. No longer in Uvita?
No, I mean, there used to be some here.
Yeah.
In
Ojochal.
Ojochal.
Yeah, in the
Things
old
like
days, but
things like
not
that, where the space could be used by other groups, and those things, and use the facilities much more than we would inhabit them in the early stages.
Well, the lessons will be given there and projects that Don was talking about will be given. In other words, it's available space.
Absolutely. We're going to have an open house in August. Once we
Yeah,
get our
yeah.
stuff together in
When-
August.
In August? Okay.
So you're all invited to the open house.
That's not extra.
We have, yeah, we could change it, but I think we did put a date on the calendar that we were working towards. That we could also at the facilities have a resource information center, a community garden, all kinds of things like that. So you see people's names behind these four things. Donna is going to be the lead steering committee person for the language classes. Teresa is going to be the cultural interactive person. Ruthie is going to be the area of elderly support. Facilities, Diane. And then Anne, who is now in Canada and is a wonderful resource for our committee, would be a volunteer coordinator and make sure that this is all on media for us. And then I'll just continue to try to steer the steering committee and facilitate the work that they do. The other local resources we want to collaborate with are all these organizations that are already doing work in the area, so that there's no overlapping of things.
Yeah, my favorite, Chico's in the Bio. That's our thing.
Sorry, it's what?
Chico's in the Bio.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
very involved in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and so we already have done some talking, because we don't want to be competitive. We want to find areas where there's needs. There at the bottom I put people needs and items. The Happy House could use benches, good quality by the way, benches, tables, chairs, cushions, bookshelves, spiritual books, whiteboards, and markers, in case anybody would either like to donate something or donate money towards.
What about art class?
What about art
Yeah.
classes?
Yeah.
Review.
Yes. You want to know if you have ideas. If you
That's
hear,
part of Donna's group.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The people
Arts and crafts.
personally that we feel like we might need in this year, an electrician who's connected with the project, an IT person who's connected with the project, bilingual gringos and gringas for sure, bilingual ticos and ticas for sure, and then people who want to spread happiness.
Can I just make a point on that?
Yeah.
I mean, I teach Zumba here, and I love that we have a lot of people coming, but it's always only gringas, right? That's it. I dance, you don't need to speak. I want to get everyone together, the Ticas as well as the gringas,
Yeah.
and have a big dance party. It would be so much fun.
Sure.
You know?
Let's do it.
So I don't know.
You're on, you're
I can
on.
do it, but I don't think the space here is
Mhm.
gonna have. We could just probably do it at Catherine's, but I don't.
We're gonna have a big backyard.
Where are you doing?
We're gonna have a
Not
big,
covered. Yeah,
yeah, it's not covered. So, but
I'll take it on.
I tell you what, here's what I want to say, and here's what I want to say, and then we can have conversation. If you are in, we have a steering committee, and I think if we just stayed with the steering committee, we'd wear each other out in about 6 more months. So we need to organize. This is one of the things I'm pretty good at, and that is organizing so that Teresa in this cross-cultural interactions would start to work with a series of people about cross-cultural interactions. And moving from one person who's been part of the steering committee to a committee that would take ideas, that would say where they'd like to land the plane, all of your ideas. The committee members are always open to ideas, but if you're interested in being part of a committee of this, you know,
Just,
so.
that's what's missing. I don't have contacts for all these people. So
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
So if you
so
are
how do we find people?
if you are interested, you just fill out this form today,
Oh,
and then we will follow up with you.
But what about people like neighbors and other people I talk to? I'm not gonna have the form at that moment.
Then
We've got a
you,
Facebook page, and
That's
they
what I
can
wanna
fill
hear.
out
Is that on here?
they can fill out that kind of a form on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful concept.
It really
This
is.
giving back on many, many levels. It's just not, let's do this. Let's try to give back to the community
Yeah.
that you live in and make it a bigger, better place to live.
Well, this is, Dr. Diane came up with this idea. She's
Wonderful.
a foundation of it.
Kudos to you, Diane.
And yes, very much I think we all.
say thank you.
And one of her-
I know it's hard for you to receive this.
She's my grandmother.
One of the classes that we did is.
How to deal with banana
preliminary to
crafts.
this.
So we're not here to promote things or to get items or to get money from you. We want you to know what this is so that there's some clarity about what's going on. And it's it sounds like we have a place for 3 years, and that we'll just start with these things and see where it expands to. If you have any interest, let us know. Yeah.
Jeff, is there, oh, I'm sorry. Is there some pictures of the place so that we get a visual? that you can-
Pencils, people need pencils.
I don't think we have a picture of the house, do we?
In the inside.
Donna has
Here, I
some.
can do that.
Yeah, we don't. So, actually, I'll give you this. Tuesday mornings, Teresa is going to be there 9 to 12 with coffee.
Oh,
That's this thing. And when the community resource center is open 9 to 12, so will the happy house be open.
okay.
And so that's a way to connect. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one thing to say when you're finished.
Yeah. Bon?
Just for the sake of clarity, I'm hearing a lot of Rica Ticas.
Yes.
Are we expanding this masculine and feminine, all cultures,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
children and adults?
Yeah.
I
We're-
harken back to the time where once upon a time, pre-pandemic, one of the things that my husband and I really enjoyed doing was teaching the kids English. At the English festival, they would partner families, person or
Sign her up.
trying to read it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so what we would find is the parents would accompany the children, and they were desperate to learn English as well. We didn't have to be bilingual.
Yeah.
We just needed to be able to bridge the gap somehow
Yeah.
and convey the message of what we were trying to explain.
We want you.
So is that something that we could pursue as well?
Yeah. I think the reason why I put a name behind each of these areas. So Donna is your contact person because she's the person who's.
Yeah, I just
gonna
wanted
be
to
in charge.
clarify it wasn't just women.
It is not, but we had to create some initial targets.
Sure.
But you want to know something that can be as broad as sometimes when you're just trying to figure out what you'll do to keep it big broad.
That's why you have
Let's
to
have to
do
be
this.
hungry.
You didn't get your. Oh, Not so subtle. Hey, oh my God. You have to
Any
find-
other questions or comments?
Why they call it banana clip.
If you would like to be a part of this, that would be awesome. All of us are contact people, for it. I'm just kind of the organizing force, that's all. And the blah, 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 blah.
I'd like to add that the word elderly is a little deceptive. This is for people that might be handicapped or who have need of services, even if they're just seniors or just new arrivals, people who may need help with various things. And so it's not just little old people. It's disabled as well, and there are, a
I'd
lot
like
of
to
things we
use,
need to know.
I'd like for us to reimagine what the word elder means, and that elder is like the most outside of the West and the Caucasian West. Elder is an incredible term of respect,
Yes.
and so I think that's the reason for that term. So anyway, thank you for listening. If you're interested and you have other questions, happy to talk with you. Diane is happy as well.
Yeah, thank you, Diane.
Yes.
It's fabulous.
Can you send that one directly to me?